From Viagogo's perspective, what are they hoping to gain from StubHub?
Well, Viagogo isn't a household name here in the U.S. They're in 70 countries worldwide, and what it wants here is an entree into the U.S. market, which is one of the fastest growing ticket markets out there. And they really are paying up about $4 billion, but they've brought in some investors to help them. And it's a bit of a homecoming also. Eric Baker, the founder of Viagogo, was actually one of the founders of StubHub, but he left before it sold originally to eBay.
Well, and Liana, the CEO, as you mentioned, Eric Baker, had really talked a lot about making this sort of a global company. He was really excited about reuniting these two and bringing it together and his global ambitions. Is that really the play here, as Viagogo gets a U.S. market and then StubHub can also have a global reach as well?
That's definitely the strategy, because Viagogo isn't really present in the market here, but it's a very fragmented industry. There's many competitors, some that were even trying to bid on this business, like Vivid Seats and other different upstarts, Game Time. The StubHub founders have really gone out and founded a lot of companies that are going after that market. So it's going to be competitive, and Viagogo coming in with StubHub has a good chance in terms of having a good brand with consumers, but you know, eBay was under pressure to sell this, so clearly it wasn't fitting in, and it was looking for other avenues to grow its revenue.
Well, and Jitendra, you cover eBay for us, so I want to get your take. A lot of analysts came out today and said that this deal was going to be unlocking a lot of value for eBay. What's your analysis?
Yeah, so it actually does two things for eBay. One, it buys them time to sort of fix the core marketplace, which is going to take time. They have to come up with a sustainable strategy there, but at least this can help fuel profit growth. You know, it also sort of like increases the impetus on the other asset sales scenarios like classifieds and things like that, other restructuring avenues. If you basically look at cost structure for eBay, you know, there is more room for operating expenses to go down. So at least that's in their control. The fight with likes of Amazon and coming next year with Facebook also entering the e-commerce market is still, we don't have an answer yet. We're still waiting for a CEO. And the strategy on that end, but at least this buys them time to drive that profit growth that they can.
And Jitendra, in your years of covering this company, why haven't they been able to keep up with Amazon? What has been the biggest headwind for them?
Well, the biggest headwind really has been the muscle memory that Amazon has developed among its consumers through Prime in many ways, and that has really helped them sort of drive that bus forward and increase loyalty and things like that. So eBay has missed out on that opportunity for a while now, and you know, once you sort of lose share over there, it's harder to gain mind share more than market share. So mind share shifts and market share sort of shifts along with it. The opportunity in front of eBay now is to sort of focus on things in front of them like advertising, the payments, which can also drive, you know, higher margin revenue for them. So I think this restructuring mode that eBay is getting into is certainly buying them time. And if you look at the valuation for the company, it's sort of reflecting that top line slowdown, if you may. So we continue to see eBay more as a profit growth story than the revenue growth story in the near term, and longer term it'll really depend on the strategy as to if they focus on key verticals or key regions, or really they bank on partnerships with the upcoming e-commerce players and sort of become the back end of the engine. So that is a wait and see, but at least for now, profit growth is a potential here.
Liana, at $4 billion in cash, I was hearing about 25 times EBITDA. Are there any calls going on that this might have been an expensive purchase?
So eBay had been working with Goldman Sachs for many months on trying to find the highest bidder, and from what we understand, it was pretty competitive at the end. As I mentioned before, Vivid Seats was competing and other private equity firms. So different firms really wanted this asset. So that really drove the price above $4 billion, which was higher than what we initially expected. We thought it would sell for between $3 and $4 billion. Viagogo had to bring on other investors to help fund this because Viagogo is a private company and it's not well known, so they had to get funding from JP Morgan and others to make this happen.